What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy, bringing you another gold nugget that you can either pick up or you can just kick it aside. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you all out here. You know, I'm out here in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, just chilling out and come to, this place that we will call life. Yeah, I'm just wanting to share some light on some things. My subject matter, don't call me African. I just took a look up here, interesting enough. Look at that, I just noticed this right here. This is the grand sculpture of what they would say Jesus Christ is up there on top of the mountain. I'm supposed to go out there tomorrow to go ahead and get a glimpse of that. Anyway, I just took notice of that while I'm just standing here. Wow. For y'all who are coming in, I hope that you all would walk with me on this journey as I begin to get out here to the shore side. I'll be walking out here. So walk with me on this journey, you all, because I believe I have something that's going to be prevalent, profound, proficient in what I'm saying, because today many of us are naming ourselves many things. We've gone from Comedics, Nubians, we've gone from Negroes to Black to Africans to Israelites to Hebrews to Jews and it continues. We have, even within the confounds of our cities and our states, have identified ourselves with fraternities and sororities and affiliations with religions, and Muslims and Christians and Hindus and all of these different titles and labels. I'm right here next to this, what you would call many names. But let me ask you, what is this? We're gonna discuss this of identifying. What is this right here? And please participate in sharing as I go along my journey. I'm gonna walk along this path over to here. But I want us to participate. What is this right here? This whole thing right here. A rock, a hill, a mountain. What do you say this is? As I said before, and as y'all come in again, somebody said a mountain with a question mark. But what is this? Participate, y'all. Stay with me. It's going to take me 15 minutes to probably walk over, if not a little longer. Because we have been indoctrinated into our societies, we have fallen into identities based upon what our family network, our city, our country, our religions, even our own beliefs and perceptions. We have created names that we will feel like we're something. Now stay with me on that. What is this? What is this? What is this right here? What would you call it? I don't see the answers coming in. But what I find is that over the years, I myself have had put labels upon me and have identified myself with many things. Now at the age of almost 58, I am evolving into removing labels and titles from off of me. I have identified based upon world's opinions, world views, world's definitions, world's cultural injunctions. Is that does that go with what? The world's injections, the world's uh, you know way of pushing its beliefs and views upon you. Many of us walked away from many of that and decide we're going to do it ourselves and call ourselves what we believe we are. Like I said, those coming in, what is this? I'm walking around this. We got many names, but it's interesting. What is it? Hold tight, people. Hold tight, because the gold nugget's gonna come. It's gonna free many people. And I sat here and contemplating on how can I present this, and I'm like, I gotta let something greater than me be able to explain this. I can't do it in my own way. So I was given this. What is this? What is that? Somebody said sound of a mound. Rocky. Somebody said a rocky outcrop. Come on, y'all. We got 353 people. I should have 353 answers. It's very simple. I mean, to put an answer down. Because what we think something is may not necessarily be. I know many of us are afraid to put answers because we have been conditioned not to be wrong. We're so afraid of being wrong, or I don't even like to say wrong, afraid of having an answer that may be opposing to what the presenter is giving. Somebody said a hill, a mountain, temple, a rock. Now we got trees in the way, a structure. Yeah, so, I hope y'all can hear me clear. This wind is blowing, but just stay with me, y'all. Removing layers of identity is the man's biggest fear. And why do I say that? Because he will be exposed. When we can identify with something or identify ourselves with something, we believe it brings credence. It brings a it validates who we are. Somebody said, what's the question? What is that? What's the question? What is this? When we identify ourselves and we put labels on ourselves, we feel like we are part of, we are connected. We feel like we are have an association that it validates us. It creates this. It creates within ourselves this identification of something solid, something unmovable, something strong. So then we will join together in it. We will create an alliance with it, whether it's a group, organization, whether associations with companies, or like I said, other affiliations, institutions. We will identify and be in such because we have a inner inherent desire to be part of something. What is this? We've gotten further away. So now, when I was up close, our perception was only what we could see at that moment. Stay with me, somebody who wants to grab a hold. Our perception is very narrow. When we think something is, I'm talking about ourselves, because we are very narrow-minded. Some people say, and I've heard this before, oh man, wow, he's deep. And I would say to the person, I'm not deep. The question is, are you just shallow? What is deep? Smart, intelligent, genius. brilliant? What are these words that we have? Somebody tell me, what is this? Because we're getting further away from the closeness of a perception of which you might have thought it was. Now, let's now give another answer since we're further out. What is this? Stay with me because we're talking about us. We're talking about our perception. When I was close to that, some probably couldn't make out what it was. Some probably felt as though that they knew what it was. And if you think that is something different, now that we get a broader view of it, what do you say it is? Yeah, I know the mic is picking up the wind. You gotta forgive me on that. It's okay. When we have a narrow perception of who we are by labeling ourselves based upon something we believe will strengthen us, equip us, validate us, we may be associating with us something or that thing that makes us weaker. You know, nothing against you all who are in the chat writing down questions or talking to other people. You know, when I started this YouTube thing, that used to be me on the chat, rah, 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 missing the gold nuggets of anybody. It doesn't matter who. Can I get to an understanding without a distraction of reading of what's in there, falling into debates and conversations that I might be missing the very key moment of the piece of my puzzle that can bring me into a place beyond where I think I am. What is that? So we're getting further away from it. Somebody said volcano. Somebody said it was a mountain. Somebody give me some answers, y'all. We 479. Peace and blessing to each and every one of you all as y'all are in. Somebody says pyramid. You know, what else we have here? What is this? What is this? Because our perceptions and our views is what enslaves us into a belief system. Somebody says it looks like a Rocky Mountain. "500 people in. A gigantic purified tree stump." Okay, what is it? Come on, y'all, let's participate. Because this is what my title is. Don't call me an African. Don't dare call me an African. But it doesn't stop there, because I know there are those who might have seen the title or those who may have presumptions of what I'm intending to say. And then we go off sometimes in these tangent conversations, and yet we don't realize maybe the importance of what the message is coming in a different direction. What is this? Right here behind me. You know, let's take a look at this object here. Not the young ladies. Oh no, we take a look at the young ladies, because the young ladies they're just the youth here. You know, they got their asses showing. You know, they got the G-strings. That's just Brazil. You know, that's just Brazil. You know, we got our people out here jogging, exercising, bicycling, because we're on the beach. Because the beach, when you hear beach, many people think that it's only limited to swimming or sunbathing. But we see also here, you can play on it. Volleyball, football, or we call soccer. On this beach, there are a multitude of things. Y'all gotta stay with me now. A multitude of things you can do on a beach. But when we hear beach, we would say, oh, the beach. What do you do at the beach? Majority of people are gonna say swim, which is far from the truth. But let's get back to the question at hand. What is this? You know, I remember some years ago that even when I went to a beach, and we're gonna get back to the question at hand. What is this? Please put your answer here. And if your answer has changed since I got further away from it, put a 1 in front of your second answer so that I know, okay, their answer's changed. I got an epiphany message within when I was in Sarasota, Florida, when I had made a mistake in stating that a beach is a beach is a beach. They're all the same. I don't need to go to any more beaches. And when I said that, immediately a message came to me and showed me how wrong I was. First and foremost, I was shown not every beach is the same. This sand here, this is a powdery sand, brown tannish, if you will, in substance. I have been on beaches where it is more rockier, harder, bigger flakes, brown, black, purple, blue. I have been on beaches like that. White sand beaches. Sarasota was white sand, powdery substance. Total different feel, total different structure than any other beach. Stay with me, y'all. Come on, just stay with me. I found that the people are different when you come to a beach. You have people for different reasons why they are here on the beach. The sand, the shore, the sea. It's gonna get a little breezy because I'm coming closer to the water, but I found out that the waves are different in every beach. I found out that the water is totally different at every beach. Stay with me, because when we have our perceptions of being a one-track mind, we will put one word on this right here, what we think it is. I found out that that which is in me showed me I was totally wrong in saying that a beach is a beach is a beach, when that which is in me showed me the multitude of differences of a beach. The sounds of the waves will sound different. If one is just come to the beaches, sit still and listen. Something that is not recognizable when you just come out to do and have fun, whatever. These waves crash different than any other place on earth. They have their own different sound than any other place on earth. Come on, stay with me, y'all. This is going to help. This is going to remove us out of this. What did we say this is? What is it? Look at the bird. I don't know if y'all can see the birds flying up in the sky. There's a bird. There's a bird. There's a bird. What is this to the birds? What is this to the insects? What is this to the trees? What is that? How could I label this a mount, a rock, with just a single word? We will give this a name and not even consider the fact this could be a home for something, a refuge for something, a protection from the waves or the winds from the other side of where it goes. Within this, what we might call a rock, stands a multitude of minerals, substances. This is a home for many species. And how would you call me then an African? How could you then call me black? How could you then call me Hebrew, an Israelite? Why would I want to limit myself in identifying with something that actually depletes me, limits me, narrows me? Why, when we want to associate, we will define ourselves with words that really cannot define you? This is the beautiful thing I love when the question was asked to the universal power, the I am that I am, the Most High, the Elohim, God, all the other names, Yahweh, and all of these names that we feel as though that we're going to identify, the creator that is in our own small pea-sized mind, feeling some type of connection. When asked by one of Amos, Moses, or whatever name you want to come up with, Osmos, that when asked, who are you? And I love the answer. The answer was, I am that I am. Moses told or responded and said, you want me to go tell the people or tell the Pharaoh? Stay with me, y'all. Stay with me. Now put yourself in Moses' shoes. This is what Moses' response was. You want me to go tell the Pharaoh? You want me to go tell the Pharaoh that I am sent me to free a people? He couldn't wrap his head around that. He could not accept that. Because I am that. It took me years into the Most High within me share with me that I need, because I was like, I am that I am. And I asked the question, what is that? What is that? That. But that's got to be something. What is that? That. I am that I am. I am that I am. You can't box. You can't box the Most High into a defined word. You can't box the Almighty, the creator of all things, into you can't trap. You can't patent and put what you want on. We so haphazardly even use the name of the Most High in our own mind understanding by our narrow perception in what it is. Don't we do that to ourselves? Haven't we limited ourselves? That's why it is so important for us. Not in my opinion. What I know, 58 years. Somebody grab a hold of this. I mean, there's people who say I'm foolish. There's people who say I'm out of my mind. I'm crazy. That's okay. Because they're absolutely right. Based upon their understanding, I am talking foreign to them. I am talking outside of their confines of with their mind have allowed them to get to a place just to be quiet and get to a place of understanding. So I understand. I agree with them. how can I identify myself in one word that will limit me and prohibit me from moving forward into this thing called life? Because if I use that definition, if I hinge on, live by the very word I define myself with, what this is, then will become one track. It will only be utilized in a one way. That means then your perception of yourself, it's what is limiting you and destroying you from becoming the greater that you are. I am that I am. Now, let me say this, y'all. I know that everybody has their own belief systems or perceptions, and there's people who are walking into the ways of the right and the wrong. And I get it. Believe me, I catch myself many a time. I had to take out of my vocabulary the wrong and right of a thing, not of a life, not of a life, but of a thing, of a belief system. Because you're gonna find that there's 7 or 8 billion people on this earth who have each their own different perceptions. And we will say, nope, that's wrong, that's right. The right and wrong is only based upon the information that you have here. And if you haven't heard it before and you have only the information that has been put in here, you're gonna say that is wrong. You will debate it, argue, and fight it, and defend your beliefs. Because of our perception of only a one-track mind limits us. But when I ask the question of what this is, I have gotten a multitude of answers. Now, who is right and who is wrong? If we can apply the same example to our life, when people call you something, all the different answers you're going to get when somebody says, well, who is he? Then who is right and who's wrong? I love in scripture when the question was posed to Peter, who do you say I am? And Peter's response was, well, there are those who say that you are the Son of God. Some say that you are the Son of Man. Some say that you are the Salvation. But he said, who do you say I am? Because there's a billion answers out here. When given the question, who do you say I am? You are the Son of the living God. The answer then was, it was not flesh and blood that revealed this to you, but it was the Spirit of the Father. Or I like to say, the Spirit of the Most High, who have revealed this to you. Okay, what does that mean? You see, our revelations of something should come spiritually, not from here. Who are you? I'm not African. For me to say I'm African limits me. But what is revealed to me through the Spirit is where I then can walk freer in knowing who I am. The world wants to always identify everything, and they want to box you in. They want to keep you confined. The world wants to segregate. They want to categorize. They want to make sure that everybody believes they have an association affiliation with only a few within a group. Because if it is that, it then limits the power that we have when trying to unite. Because then The killer of uniting is when one believes they are something when they're not. When you believe that you are affiliated with this group, well, this group has a problem with that group. You're not going to unite together. When you believe that you are part of over here, you're not going to want to have an affiliation, or will consider yourself to be either more important and they be less than what you believe you are. Further away, what is that? Because that at any given moment, I could be that. I am that I am at any given moment. At any given moment. You know, I share with my children that, you know, you can do anything that you want to do. I didn't say be anything. I said do anything. You can do anything that you want to do. Even the impossible. There's people who are doing many things that are the impossible in their mind, beyond than what we can fathom or comprehend. So when I tell my children, you can do anything, versus be anything. You see, I was brought up and they say, oh, you can be whatever you want. Well, no, you can't. You can't be whatever you want. There's just a lot of things you just cannot be. Let me give you some examples. You know, there are many people who have tried to become doctors, judges, basketball players, or sports entities, athletes, and, you know, professions, and different, wanted to be part of different affiliations and groups, but met rejections and said, no, you don't qualify, you didn't pass the test, you did not get past the goal, the record, or the timing, so you are not fit to become this very thing that you dreamt of wanting to become. Some people, I want to be a gold medalist, and never could become, because they did not. It had not presented to them that as long there's two sides of life. There's the kingdom of the Most High, and there's the world kingdom. In the world kingdom, you are subject to man. Man's rules. And man's rules are biases based upon the people who are in control. It ain't necessarily about color. It's about who has the control. Who has the final say-so in you becoming what you believe that you could become. Now, I can do and run and become a track runner, or I can become I could do I can do the work of a judge. I can do anything without being hindered by the rules of you got to qualify. These are the prerequisites of you doing this thing. That's one thing I love about Africa, is that you don't need qualifications in a lot of things. A lot of things is just go ahead and do it. We don't have prerequisites if you want to do this as a business. If you want to be this, do this as a profession. They don't have a lot of red tape bureaucracy in hindering you from doing it. And when we have gone through the formalities of a system that has said that you must go through the prerequisite of that thing that you want to be, we then think we've become it. I'm a judge, I'm a doctor, I'm a football player, and we've labeled ourselves as such and then now limit ourselves. This is why when the one-track mind can get your ass in trouble when it's all said and done, when it's over with. You're retired, you got injured, you can't perform it no more. It's became obsolete. You got rifted, you got released, you got laid off, and now you got to embark on something different that you believe that this was what you were supposed to be, and yet you found out I have to go and reinvent myself into something different. When all the while you should have been being in the mindset of that I am that I am. I am flexible. I am pliable. I'm able to do whatever I so choose to do at any given moment of time, so that then if the day presents itself for me to walk in and do such a thing, I will do it. That's why it's very dangerous for us to say words like, I like this, I don't like that. Because now you limit the very possibilities of you doing such a thing, because you locked your mind into believing that you are meant to only do one thing. We tell our children, what do you want to be when you grow up? Now the child been locked into the head of believing that they only have one thing that they can think about, and you now have toiled them, you have confused them, you have caused them to be in this mix of confusion while they're all a while from the kindergarten all the way through college, battered them and asking, what is it that you want to do? And now they got to figure out through all the muck, mire, and mess that we've created, what is the one thing? I don't know. And most of our children will sit back and say they don't know. When it's accepting the fact at a very young age that all is your possibilities of wanting to do whatever you want to do. Not be. Doing and being is two different things. I want to be a doctor. Okay, you want to be a doctor. So is that it? Don't more hats of trades and skills and talents, and gifts flow out of you than just you say you want to be a doctor? How about I want to do what a doctor do? And then there are more other things that you are doing. How many hats of responsibilities do we wear? I share this with so many of our brothers and sisters on the continent of Africa. I shared with a young man, and his mind was blown when I had asked him, I said, what do you do? He said, I'm a driver. A driver? Okay, what else do you do? He said, I drive. You just drive? He's like, yeah. I said, young man, hold up. Let me ask you a question. The person he drives around is a dignitary. I said, when you drive this person around, do you have to get out and open doors up? Do you have to ensure that safety is in place? When he or she is on their phone in the car, do you have to have a sense of confidentiality? When you're driving the car, do you have to take safety measures in hand? So you're a security, a confidant. You're a person that is provided. Come on, bro, what's up? Here we go. Brazil. Let me give these guys a little something for their hard work. Yes, 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 yes. Let me give y'all a little something for y'all hard work. There you go. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, no, no. You split with them. I gave these guys big money, and he's now wanting me to give to all of them separately. Look at the guy. All right. It's funny. Hey, what's up, brother? What's up, brother? Huh? Yeah. Huh? I'm all from all over, brother. Come on in here. What's up? You from? You from California?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's your name?
My name is Clarence, man.
Okay, the world's watching right now. I'm live video.
Nice.
Yeah. What brings you out here?
Well, retirement.
Retired.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I used to work for the city of Oakland, and they decided to let me go because I chose not to vaccinate. So.
Hold up. This is You used to work for the city of Oakland.
Yes, sir.
And you chose not to vaccinate.
Yes, sir.
And they let you go.
Yes, sir.
How many years did you have with them?
24 years?
Almost 24 years.
Yeah.
They didn't even care about the longevity you had with them. They didn't care.
No, and this is the interesting part about it as a supervisor with the city of Oakland. Well, as a civil servant, I understood what my responsibility is,
Yeah.
as a first responder.
Yeah.
And they told me that was essential personnel.
Yeah.
So before I actually caught COVID,
Yeah.
right, I was at work putting myself at risk. Then I catch COVID, I survive COVID, I go back to work, and then they come up with a mandate.
Yeah.
And I tried to get the antibodies test.
Yeah.
But no hospital in America were giving antibodies test at that time.
No, they weren't.
Right. So I filed for a religious exemption because I started to investigate the things that were actually in their concoction.
Yeah. Wow.
And because of spiritual beliefs,
Yep.
I chose not to use fetal stem cell technology.
Yep.
But I've never had a flu shot in my life.
Okay.
So in having a conversation with them, I was like, well, look, let's have an intelligent conversation about this.
Yeah.
First, it's an experimental drug
Yep.
under emergency use authorization.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, you have a hold harmless agreement, which means if something happens
turn
to
this
me,
way. Let's go here.
yeah.
I'm getting all kind of surprises out here today. All righty. Let me stay on this side here.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
Man, you got a radio voice, man. You got that nice deep radio voice. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm like, okay, well, if you have a hold harmless agreement, it is experimental. And California was actually having a lottery and paying people. States across the nation were actually paying people to take the vaccination.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, well, those are the three components of a clinical trial.
So anyway, fast forwarding,
Right.
you decide you retire. You retired?
I had to, because if I had not retired and they fired me, I would not have been able to receive my pension.
Wow. And you was doing in the government, you said, or
City of Oakland, local government.
the local
Yeah,
government?
city
And
government.
to what capacity were you?
I was a supervisor for the infrastructure, so like when I walk around here
Yeah.
and I see how the sewer system here is a little antiquated,
Yeah.
How they actually maintain the streets, and so I did everything that takes care of a city.
Okay, gotcha.
You
Gotcha.
know?
Gotcha.
So I didn't actually work in the sewer department, but I was familiar with the drainage systems. We took care of mudslides because
Yeah.
yeah.
So
it just-
retired.
Yeah.
You got the hell out. I mean, how long after that did you leave? I mean, because we're right here in Brazil and Rio. How long you been here in Rio?
I got here December 31st of last year.
Last year. Okay.
Yeah, I went back to California for about a month because I don't have my residency. I'm actually
Okay.
working on residency right now.
Yeah.
That's a process.
Do they have the retirement visa here in Brazil that you can use that as a?
Yes, you
Yeah.
can, but you have to go through the paperwork through the government, and what they will do is, it's a really weird process because they do the whole circle jerk.
Okay.
And if you're an American, they try to milk as much out of you as they can. I'm working with a young man right now who's from Canada who actually specializes in that.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
before I left, what was that? At the end of March.
Yeah.
We actually started the process.
Okay.
So it's been a little over a month and
Right.
a half right now, and since I am retired, they do have what they call a retirement visa, but they want to know your income. They want to know if you have a criminal history, things of that nature.
Retirement visa. Okay, so
Yeah.
I guess that's what I was speaking of. Yeah, so they do have that in place. Okay.
Yes.
All right. How do you like Rio, man? Uh-oh.
I don't like big cities.
Understood. Understood. Yeah. Yeah.
I am. I'm a work in progress. I consider myself a whip.
Okay.
I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ.
Okay.
I operate by some of those principles.
Yeah.
I do believe in live and let live, but I feel that Rio de Janeiro, the city, is a modern day Sodom and Gomorrah.
As my wife would say, debauchery.
And to the fullest. And it's I work at not being practicing the 3 C's, as my grandfather told me a long time ago. No condemnation, no criticism, and no complaining.
Okay.
And that's very hard to do, because whenever you have a thought, there is a criticism or a condemnation, or it's critical.
Yeah.
But what's interesting for me is when you understand Portuguese history, that they were the workhorses for the British and Spanish crown during
Portuguese
slavery.
too? Yeah, Portuguese. Yeah.
They were the workhorses for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And so, and it's interesting because a lot of people don't realize that the Roman Catholic Church actually sanctioned slavery in Africa. The whole trip about Columbus in 1492, Columbus sailing the ocean blue, was
Yeah.
about the
Yeah.
papacy spreading its wealth and helping those countries that they were, they were backing the most to propagate slavery. But that's a whole nother conversation. But in that,
Pope Nicholas V
Yes.
is who sanctioned and allowed the Portuguese to enslave Africans.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're actually having this conversation.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know that. And then people will ask me, well, why would you go to Brazil if you know that and understand the subjugation of the mental
Yeah.
and spiritual subjugation of the people here? And that's to enlighten people.
Yeah.
I was born in 1960, so, during the whole civil rights movement, I got to experience all of that. I got to see Kennedy get his brains blowed out before my 3rd birthday on television. So when people ask me about terrorism and terror, I'm like, I've been terrorized all my life. So, and the fact that Brazil has the largest African descended population outside of Africa, I have something to share with them. Experience, strength, and hope.
Do you speak Portuguese?
I'm taking a class next month.
Trying to learn it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel it's very important, because I'm in somebody else's house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, as a guest, I need to be aware of the customs, I need to be aware of the language, and I need to know how to navigate and maneuver. Right now, I'm on my way back down to this little kiosk that I was at last night, because I can't find my phone.
Can't find your phone.
I cannot find my phone. I do not remember taking it with me. I left it in the apartment, that I'm cohabitating with this young lady in currently, who said that they were going to help me. No.
Oh.
The reason I came is she said she was going to help me find an apartment.
Yeah.
Right. Just stay here for a while, and after Carnival, I'll help you find an apartment. Now that I'm talking about moving forward with that, there's all this other drama. And I choose not to get into that right now, but
Yeah.
it is what it is, and what's interesting about human nature is people have agendas that they don't share.
Yeah.
And, and I know that.
Yeah.
And so I'm prepared for that, but I need my stuff so I can have peace of mind, because the main reason I moved to Brazil was to get to the mountains,
To get to the mountains.
to collect my own rainwater,
Okay.
to put up solar panels and have my own electricity,
Okay.
to grow my own fruits and vegetables,
Yeah.
and live a quiet and peaceful life, praise God.
What was your initial your coming here to Brazil? When did that begin? Was it last year December, or was it before that?
Last year December, but my first trip to Brazil was in 2016, prior to the Olympics.
Okay. Okay.
And a really good friend of mine's, my godbrother, brother by the name of Ramet Washington, he had been here before, and it was interesting when we got here. Yeah, it was interesting when we got here because the gentleman that we did an Airbnb with, Belgium gentleman, and because he's used to dealing with the debauchery,
Yeah.
um, he felt like we were a couple. But when we scheduled our Airbnb, we scheduled to get two separate rooms.
Okay.
And so when we get there, he wanted to change the narrative and say, well, you didn't pay for two. I'm like, no, we paid for two rooms. Well, I don't have okay. And since I didn't have a computer or any way of, letting him know, okay, well, if you need money for the next, so we took care of that. Then he was very just Belgian.
Belgian.
Right.
Yeah.
And, talking down. And so it had got to the point that I had continued to take deep breaths. Remember, I was over 6,000 miles away from home, and that it was important not to do anything. But you can only take so much when you operate from a place of humility.
I understand.
And people take humility for weakness.
Yeah.
So he finally got under my skin, and I told him, look, dude, you don't know me. I'll hold you hostage in your own house. And so my godbrother had to, and
Yeah.
he kept me calm, but he was sharing with me about how prior to the Olympics that they were going to do a real estate drive-by. In other words, they were going to continue to displace people just like they do in North America. When there's a piece of property or some land that they want, they devalue it and move us out.
Yeah.
And so that's just what they did with the Olympics here. And during that time, a lot of African descendants here were murdered. They actually found a lot of burial sites, old African burial sites that they don't even talk about.
Yeah. I was there, Little Africa.
Yeah.
I was over there yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, and saw one of those areas built with the burials.
Yeah. And so it's
Not to cut you short.
not a problem because I can be long-winded.
Hey, the older we get, the longer-winded we
Tell me
become.
about it.
Yes, we got a lot to share.
Yes.
We do. Because I'm gonna finish up my video here, and I'm about
Okay.
to break on about 60 minutes because I was on the topic. But what would you say to the people? Because my channel is Go Black to Africa.
Nice.
I've been to 34 African countries. I've shared the African countries, and I believe to this day still that we should go and embark on Africa. Not to the sense that you have to go move there,
Right.
but to go experience, because I believe there is a plethora of teaching lessons or eye-opening experiences for us to really gather a more understanding beyond than what we were taught when we were in Americas.
Exactly.
And so what would you say, being that you're here in Portugal? Because I tell people it don't even have to be Africa.
Right.
But you've already kind of shared some of your opinions of here in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds as though that you're still going to remain here and do your thing.
Right.
What would you say to the people who are there in America? Let's just say, who might be fed up,
Yeah.
who might have experienced some traumatic experience, like you say. We've gone through a whole lot of those issues. What would you say to those seniors or those upcoming youths who feel as though America's not the way? What would you say to them?
First and foremost, you have to believe in something greater than yourself, outside of yourself. And you have to allow spirit to move you. You can't operate in a place of fear, and it seems like it's very important, especially for our youth, to understand that those who have gone before them have a lot of information. They may not have utilized the information themselves, but just because they're not the example for you, they have information for you that's valuable. Prime example, okay? I don't have a problem sharing with anybody or the world that I used to be strung out on crack, because I started out being a victimizer, selling this shit to my community. Excuse my language.
No, you're good.
But then, understanding, because I have a spirit, the challenges and the destruction I was causing in my community, I became a victim of my own product.
Yes.
And as a result of that, I had to realize that I am not the sum product of what America says that I am.
Now hold up, because this was my topic I was talking about coming here. Us believing that we are something because either we were told that you're African, you're American, you're this, you're that. or we identify ourselves as being such that we limit ourselves. You know what I'm saying? This is what I
God
was
is
talking about.
good. God is good.
This is what I was talking about.
Yes, yes. So can I speak to that?
Go ahead, brother.
Because a lot of individuals ask me, "Oh, so you're African American?" I'm like, "No." Well, you're black. I'm like, "No." I says, "Check this out. From the time I was born, or the time that Africans descendants came to the continent, they were called slaves, they were called Negroes, they were called niggas, they were called colored, and I'm like, I'm American. My skin tone does not identify me.
Hold up.
First and
Hold up.
foremost, I am a man.
Do you identify being American?
Yes, because that's where I was born. That's where I was born.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
I'm a descendant of Africans, but I'm an American. I was born in America. Brother, I am so far removed from Africa, and I have to learn the culture. I don't know my language. I don't know what tribe I'm from. I don't know any of that. I'm
me
sure
ask
I
you-
have a connection.
So we've embarked on a place of, I was sharing with the people, I need to understand. Sometimes we need, instead of debate and arguing,
Exactly.
let's get to a place of understanding.
Yes.
Please explain to me and others
Uh-huh.
what defines you as an American.
What defines me as an American is after the Civil War, and they wrote the 14th Amendment to give us civil rights then. And my ancestors helped to build that country with their blood, their sweat, their tears. They fought in wars.
Yeah.
Every modern convenience that North America has been either stolen or usurped from individuals that look like you and I.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people don't realize our history and they don't realize our greatness. And I'm not saying this from a place of arrogance, but I think we were some of the first people to inhabit this earth, and everything else from that is a genetic mutant. And I'm not saying that to be ugly. I'm saying that's because it's the truth. It is a recessive gene. And so to be subjugated to a point where you don't know your history, you don't know your culture, you don't know your language, you don't know nothing about yourself other than the fact that you were born in America and your ancestors were slaves. But this is the cap. We were already there.
True. Oh yeah, we were there way before they came. Yeah.
Exactly. And so when history, like they say, to the victor goes the spoils.
Yeah.
So they erase history and they do all sorts of other things because of their own insecurities to minimize your intellect and your spirit.
Yeah.
Let
me share this, and I'm going to finish up. I got a minute or so left. I understand now why he calls himself American, and I respect that. Mm-hmm. Most definitely, much love and respect to you for that. Because I know we have our own beliefs and our own perceptions of why we would identify ourselves as being such.
Right.
I see a little differently, for me, that what you said was so profound in our contribution to a country that calls themselves American, and yet we want to be part of that because of our contribution. What I see, how we as a people who have been lost per se, we have fought to be part of the bucket. I call it a bucket.
Yeah.
If I'm in a bucket of rotten apples and the rotten apples exclude me from being part of the whole, do I really want to be a rotten apple?
I get it.
Do I want to, even though I participated or contributed into what was going on to the economy of that basket, does that make me a rotten apple? Matter of fact, bringing me into the fold of the rotten apples without my permission per se.
Consent, yeah.
My consent, I understand why we want to be American. My challenge, I would say my issue that I have is not with you.
No.
My issue with what they want to dictate who's American
Yes.
is the fact that branding us with USA on our backs without giving our ancestors the opportunity to say who they are
Right.
is the issue that I have.
So so
You got 30 seconds, brother.
you're talking about the Stockholm syndrome,
Okay,
where the captor falls in love with his captor.
To a certain degree, yeah.
And no, I do not have Stockholm syndrome.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, because I am so far removed from Africa,
Yeah.
I'm an American of African descent. See, that's the key.
Yeah.
I understand my roots.
Yeah.
And I honor my roots.
Yeah.
And so if we as Americans who are African descendants start to do Pan-Africanism and start to reach out to other individuals who look like us that have been marginalized around the world and start to bring our power and our unity together in spirit, then we can have an understanding and we can actually grow, because it's not about somebody giving us something, it's truly about our liberation.
I love speaking to our elders, and I appreciate you, brother.
Not a problem,
And
sir.
this was very liberating in a sense, you coming here and us having this dialogue together.
Yeah.
And so I wish you well, peace and blessings to you.
And same to you,
And
my
yes,
brother.
and your name again?
Clarence.
Clarence, do you have any social media people could reach out to you or anything?
The only thing I do is WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I have a Facebook,
Okay.
but I don't use it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really big on
I
social
understand.
media.
I understand.
I'm a child of the '60s, man. And,
I understand.
And, I don't like being tracked, and I don't like Big Brother.
All right, brother. You take care, man.
I didn't get your name, sir.
They call me Go Black.
Go Black. That's
Go
right,
Black.
baby. That's
Go
right,
Black
baby.
to Africa. Check out the channel. You'll see
Yes,
yourself.
sir. Yes,
All right,
sir.
man.
Peace and blessings to
Peace,
you.
sweet lesson, brother. Awesome dialogue. You see, I'm coming to a close, family. His belief system, his perception, beautiful. He's living his life. And though that I might see differently, because I've said, I'm not African, I'm not American, I'm not going to label myself any further, any longer, because those are traps. Those are traps. But I understood what he was saying because I was able to listen and get to a place of understanding. There's no need for debate and arguments. There's no need for me to try to convince him that he is not American. He defined it, that's his perception, and he's living on. What I'm saying to many of you all is don't believe because of the fact that they told you you are this or not that it makes it so. Don't believe because you were born into a country. Don't believe because you have, they told you that your skin made you Moorish, Negro, Black, nigga. These are words, but it don't define you. It's easy to see my skin is melanated, but does that make me who I am spiritually? Matter of fact, does it add any weight to my validity walking here on earth? Does it open up any doors? It's going to probably close more than open. But it will close more doors by us subscribing to these labels and titles that have been given us. And we believing it. So with that, family, I wish you all well. Thank you for those who have stayed the course on this journey. Y'all got to see some musicians here on the boardwalk. You got to meet a brother coming from America in conversation. And also, please, if you haven't seen the beginning of the video, please go back to the beginning and participate in the example that I was sharing in unraveling the layers of identity. Peace and blessings to each of y'all. I'm out.